Middle Jesus Rocks here, and it's a beautiful day in Seattle, and I want to talk about one of my other passions in life, which is music. Now, I love video games and I love music, and I thought it might be kind of fun to talk about some of my favorite album covers and go through a collection that I have, talk about some of the ones that are more rare, some of the ones that are a little bit more unusual. So, hope you enjoy. Alright, so first up is an album cover that I absolutely love. It is the original version of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction album. And what's interesting about this is that if you look there, and I know it's kind of hard to spot, but basically that's a robot, and he's trying to rape this girl on the sidewalk, and this demon-like thing with knives for teeth is jumping over the wall to attack him. Now, this was the original album cover. Obviously, when it came out, people were kind of upset, and they didn't print very many of these, and instead what they ended up doing was putting this on the inside of the album. This is the original version of it. Got that at a garage sale for $1. Here is a pretty cool album, and that is Alice in Chains' Jars of Flies, but it's actually a dual album. It also includes the album Sap. And it basically is both of them here. You see the second one there. What's really cool about this is that all the music didn't necessarily take up all the space, and so what they decided to do was print Alice in Chains on the actual album itself. Pretty cool, huh? Now, next up is an album I think is pretty funny. It's King Diamond's Christmas album, No Presents for Christmas. And why this is so funny is because King Diamond is he's basically a Satanist, and he's a total old school kind of screamy metal dude, totally awesome music. Put out a Christmas album that actually, it pretty fucking rocks. Next up is Picture Disc for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And this is a fantastic album. My friend Paul gave me this. Awesome if you are a Rocky Horror Picture Show fan. Next up is Pearl Jam's Vitalogy, actually one of my favorite Pearl Jam albums. And this is a gate sleeve album. Absolutely beautiful inside. And it has sort of like a leathery feel to it, almost like a book. Great stuff. Next up is Metallica's Garage Inc. Now, what this was is, back in the day, they used to do a bunch of covers as B-side albums, and so they had Garage Days Revisited, and just did some excellent covers. And for a long time, they weren't actually available to buy. Then they released this sort of compilation of new covers, old covers, and then this is the vinyl. Excellent album. Next up is Kiss, and Kiss is one of my favorite bands. No surprise there. This is a fairly rare German Kiss album. It's a compilation with 4 new tracks on it. Notice the Kiss logo there doesn't have the traditional sort of Nazi SS S's, and that's because you couldn't do that in Germany, so they basically had to redesign the logo for this. I think this was released in 1981. Alright, now speaking of Kiss. Now Kiss, for those kids that don't know, used to be one of the biggest rock bands in the world. This is basically between 1977, 78, and 79. They were huge. And one of the things that they always knew and understood is that if you go above and beyond in sort of the packaging, then people will really collect it and basically cherish it forever. This is Kiss Alive 2. This is a live album. And what I love about this is that it really takes advantage of the format and shows a huge sort of stage picture. It's fucking awesome. Back here it shows the band members, but more importantly, what they did as well is with the albums themselves, they really put a lot of effort into sort of showing you their albums, and it included a tour book, as well as a history. That's an album. That's how you do an album. Now, next up is Love Gun. Love Gun is an album that they put out, I believe, in 1977. Great album. Really cool album art. But inside of it, they've got a bunch of goodies as well. So this is an original. Comes with an actual love gun that you basically can put together. Comes with an order form for some merchandise, as well as an advertisement for the Kiss comic book made by Marvel. More crap you can buy. And then here's the album art, or the sleeve art, I guess I should say, for Love Gun. Classic album. And finally, back in the 1990s, Kiss was getting some love from a lot of the kind of alternative metal bands at the time. This was a compilation called Kiss My Ass. And basically it has Anthrax, Garth Brooks is on here, the Lemonheads, Lenny Kravitz, Dinosaur Jr., the Gin Blossoms, a bunch of people. And what's great about this is they put it on red vinyl. Very pretty. So I think one of the reasons why vinyl has even stayed popular to this day is that obviously the great music is there, but there's a real emphasis for art. And more specifically, there's a huge canvas for it. Specifically, a lot of albums that are able to fold out. So obviously the cover's larger, but one of the things I love is the ability for the album to fold out and create an entire picture. Here you see Prince's album Around the World in a Day. And again, you get this massive landscape that has all the different parts of all the different songs laid out for you, as well as room for all the lyrics. It's just awesome. Now, next up is an album that really took advantage of that format, which is Pink Floyd's The Wall, where you really get to see the artwork and all the handwritten lyrics. Love this album. Of course, one of the biggest albums of all time, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Very cool. A great album by Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I love this album because it actually is 3. If you can see that here. And what's cool about this album is that they really took some time. So every one of these songs has its own artwork, its own sort of font style, and it really tells a cool story from beginning to end. Here is one of my favorite examples of art that folds out in the album format, the gatefold. Look at that, it's awesome. Notice there's no Led Zeppelin logo, no song titles, nothing, not even on the spine. Just a cool photo. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. Great album. Open it up and they're larger than life. Looks like something out of Road Warrior. Alright, now here was a really interesting idea. Back in 1987, Def Leppard released the much anticipated Hysteria album. And it was doing really well, and so they thought they might have a ton of hits off of it. So what they decided to do was release all the 7 inches and basically have each piece build out the album cover. And they got pretty close. Two more singles and they would have had the entire album built out in 7-inch singles. Alright, and finally, one of my more collectible albums. It's a 45 by a band called Kyuss. Now, if you don't know who Kyuss is, this was the band that turned into Queens of the Stone Age. And they were a little bit more stoner rock, a little bit more like Black Sabbath. This was given to me by one of the music distributors when I was working at a record store. 2 songs, but it comes on sky blue vinyl. And I've seen this go for several $100s on eBay alone. And it's just because people like me who love the band would never sell it. So, pretty cool. Alright, well that's my collection of rare and unusual albums. I hope you enjoyed it. I might do these occasionally, but I'm also working on another retro video game review, so that'll be coming in about a week. Alright, well thanks for watching.